while many of you are getting your lunch, we are going to get started this afternoon with our awards ceremony, and then we will run right into our lunchtime keynote. So we are very privileged to have some amazing champions in rural health. And each year that we do our conference, we're fortunate enough to have a local artist who produces these beautiful awards for us. And I just want to share with you a little bit about those. Her name is Carrie Trenholm, and she lives in Cedar City. She is an emeriti faculty at Southern Utah University. She's exhibited her work at the Springville Museum of Art, the St. George Art Museum, the Sears Art Museum, the Lefebvre Gallery in Springdale, as well as the Braithwaite. So if you ever get a chance to check out her work, she is just fantastic. So this afternoon, we are going to do a few of these awards via Zoom. We have a couple of folks who just could not be here in person, even though they wanted to be here. But I'm going to ask our Rural Health Association of Utah's board chair, Mark Daly, to come up and give a few words, and then he'll present our first awards. Mark?
Allow me to stumble up. Thanks, Rita. It's my opportunity and pleasure to present the two Rural Health Legislative Champion Awards today. The first one goes to Senator Evan Vickers. Evan, welcome. We know that you're busy today, but thank you for taking the time. And other than having a red shirt on, you're doing great. Evan and I go way back, so I can tease him about being a University of Utah fan, although the last number of years it's been hard to tease him much because there hasn't been much to tease him about. Let me just share with you some of Evan's bio, and then I'll make a couple of comments and see if Senator Vickers would like to share a word or two with us. Evan has been a fantastic supporter of rural health issues throughout his career, and particularly since he's been in the legislature. As you may know, he was elected, first of all, to the House of Representatives, I think in 2009, and then a few years later was elected to the Senate. He's now the Senate Majority Leader, which is a very important position, and he does a fantastic job of representing rural issues in general and rural health care in particular. Senator Vickers was born in Panguitch. I didn't know that, Evan. My mom and dad were both born in Panguitch, so someday we're going to have to.
Hey, Panguitch is a good place.
I didn't remember us talking about. And was raised in Beaver. He attended the University of Utah College of Pharmacy and graduated in 1977. He and his family own 5 businesses in Cedar City, Utah, and 1 in Richfield. Senator Vickers served on the Cedar City Council from 1987 to 1998. He has served on numerous civic boards, including the Iron County Board of Adjustment, Cedar City Airport Board, Cedar City Water Board, Utah Pharmacists Association, and Cedar City Recreation Board. He currently serves on the Iron Mission Board, the Valley View Medical Center Board, and the SUU Levitt Center for Politics and Public Policy Board. Senator Vickers was named the NFIB Utah Small Business Champion of the Year in 2006, as well as the Small Businessman of the Year for by the Cedar City Chamber of Commerce. I'd already mentioned that he was elected to the House of Representatives and later the Senate, where he now serves. Evan is a phenomenal and avid golfer, avid hunter, fisherman, and loves spending time with family. He and Chris have 5 children, all of who at one point were involved in their business, and 2 of their children, Robbie and Martine, are in the process of buying a business from their parents, working to make their own mark on the family business. So I mentioned I've known Evan for a long time. He and I played high school basketball against each other, although I'm not sure we knew who each other were at that time. Then we moved into the same neighborhood in Cedar City and played a lot of church ball together, and I got to know he and his family well. Evan is a man of tremendous integrity. He has always been a great supporter of rural issues, and he's very well respected by the Utah Hospital Association and all of us in healthcare, as well as many other businesses in the state. So Evan, we're sorry that you can't be here with us, but we'd like to present this award to you as a rural health legislative champion.
You can see this camera. So,
Oh, okay, you can see right there.
good.
Yeah, can you share some thoughts with us, Evan, or are you able to speak through that magic mirror there?
So I'm getting some breakup on this end. Could you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me?
We can sort of hear you.
Yeah, I'm not sure which end we're having problems with in this virtual world. You know, Mark, as you was doing your presentation, it was working well, and then all of a sudden not so well. So if you can you hear me okay?
Yeah, not too bad. It's pretty decent.
Okay. So yeah, as Mark mentioned, he and I do go way back. Back from when I was a Beaver and he was a Parowan Ram, and then we reconnected when our families moved to Cedar City later on, and we've just been close friends ever since. And so I really appreciate I really fully intended to be there today. I actually am sitting in my wife's hospital room. She had knee surgery this morning, and we're just about getting ready to release her and take her home. So sometimes life takes a twist, and unfortunately, I'm not able to be there in person. But thank you so much. I do really care about rural health in Utah, and because of my profession and other associations I've had over the years, it's been an honor in the legislature to be responsive to those needs and do everything I can to help with that. So thank you. And people like Rita and Mark and everyone else that's been involved help along the way. They play such a big role in that. So sometimes I'm just a spokesperson. I'm not even the one doing the work. You guys are the ones doing the work. So thank you so much. And it's really a privilege to have this honor. So thank you.
Thanks, Evan. Let's give Evan another round of applause. We appreciate very much you taking the time here and taking care of your wife. I know it's a busy day, but thank you, and thank you again for all you do, Evan. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. See ya.
Yeah. Our next award, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, our next award goes to Brad last, but I was going to say that unfortunately Brad's unable to be with us today, and I don't believe we have him on Zoom anywhere, but Brad is another healthcare champion for rural health. He is a member of the Utah House of Representatives. He's been representing District 71 since January of 2003. He earned his bachelor's degree and MBA from the University of Utah. He lives in Hurricane, where he works as a vice president of development at Dixie State College. I mentioned I had the opportunity last week of playing in the Dixie Classic, which is a golf tournament that Representative Last and his staff put on every year, and it was tremendously done. He was unable to be there, but his hand was evident in the fantastic way that they handled everything. He serves on a number of committees in the House of Representatives, including the Retirement and Independent Entities Appropriations Subcommittee. I know he's on the Executive Appropriations Subcommittee, the Public Education Appropriations Subcommittee, the House Economic Development and Workforce Services Committee, the House Education Committee, and the House Retirement and Independent Entities Committee. And during the interim, Representative Glass served on the Economic Development and Workforce Services Interim Committee and the Retirement and Independent Committee as well. He's also been active in St. George in a lot of activities. Representative Glass is also very well thought of in the legislature and has been a tremendous champion for healthcare in Utah. And we wish that he was able to be here with us, but please join me in giving a round of applause to Representative Glass.
So I've asked Mark to stay up here. Mark is actually leaving our board of directors, and we're very sad. He has been a phenomenal leader for us, and we'll be welcoming in Greg Rosenthal, our incoming chair, a little bit later. But Marla Shelby Drabner, our former board chair, is going to do a presentation for Mark.
It's my pleasure to have been asked to do this. And you can all read what's in the program, so I won't read the whole thing. I'll just highlight. Mark Daly has a stellar career of over 40 years in healthcare in senior executive CEO, COO positions. He has worked with Intermountain Healthcare, Rural Health Management, Catholic Health Initiative in Oregon, and in 2011 returned to work at Medicine Valley Hospital, from which he will be retiring the end of the year. Mark has served on numerous boards. The bio in the program only lists half a dozen. I'm sure there are at least 10 times that many. But among highlights of his career, Mark has served as chairman of the board of the Utah Hospital Association, chair of the Digital Health Services Commission, served several years as board chair of the Rural 9 Network, and has served as chair of the Rural Health Association of Utah, and as chair of the Rural Hospital Council for UHA. Mark was recently named the recipient of the Distinguished Healthcare Executive Award for 2021 by the Utah Hospital Association. Well deserved, Mark. Mark has been married to his lovely wife, Mary Jane, for 45 years. They have 6 children and 14 grandchildren. And he tells me he's looking forward to having time to actually spend time with those 14 grandchildren. Okay, so I didn't want to just read the whole bio because that doesn't tell you who Mark is. So he and I know a lot of the same people. So I started making phone calls to find some good stories. Well, nobody would give me a good story. So either Mark is a really good person or he has done a great job of covering up the dirt in his life. However, I will share with you some comments that were made by Greg Rosenbaum. Greg said to me, in my roles at the Utah Hospital Association, Mark has always been there to support and lend a hand whenever needed. I never had to wonder about Mark's position toward our effort. He was always behind us 100% and willing to support however he could. And second, Mark has a genuine interest in people and a desire for friendship. He naturally comes across as a friend and someone who is interested in your well-being. I believe he possesses this trait because of his genuine kind heart. We all know he's an avid golfer, and I have learned that from time to time he'll spice up his golf game with a song or two. I also have learned he enjoys a good steak, be it 4 ounces, 8 ounces, 16 ounces, or there's a whole story around a 32-ounce steak. I have to ask him about that. It has been a pleasure to have known and worked with Mark in various situations and places for many years. I won't say how many. It has been a pleasure. And Mark, I am honored to present you with well-deserved Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Thanks, Marla.
I have to say thank you very much. It's I'm in the process of retiring. I actually haven't been to work since the first part of October. I won't officially retire till the end of the year, but I get extended leave. And I will miss all of you. I won't miss the politics. I won't miss the regulations. I won't miss some of the challenges that we talked about today, but I will miss the people. You have my greatest admiration for the work that you do in rural health. It's so very important. Thank you for this honor. I appreciate that.
So our senior program manager, Casey Chipster, is going to present our next award.
So the next award we're going to present is for our Educational Partner Award. And this year we'd like to recognize the Utah State University Extension Program, specifically their HEART program. And we have Ashley Auger on the Zoom to accept the award. But I just want to say that, you know, our office has a wide diversity of projects that we work on. And it feels like we work with different partners on different projects, but the one that we run into frequently, regardless of the project, is USU Extension, because they have quite a vast reach as well. We've worked with Mary Voss and her team up in Tooele County. I've worked extensively with Ashley out in Price and Emery County, down into Grand County, and we've even worked with their center there in Blanding on some different educational opportunities. And they've just been an extremely supportive partner, and really a lot of the success we've had recently in our grant projects are directly because of the involvement and support that we've received from USU Extension. So we want to recognize them today, and I'll turn some time over to Ashley if you want to say a few words.
Well, thank you guys for making this a virtual option for me to be here, and such a beautiful award. That's gorgeous. We are honored and privileged to be able to do the work that we do, the very impactful, meaningful work to reduce substance use disorder deaths and get people the access to treatment, recovery, and prevention and evidence-based materials. And so I know I'm one of many of us that are very proud to be able to do this work, and I appreciate our partners and our partnership to do our collaborations to do this amazing work. So I am very honored and privileged to accept this award. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Ashley.
I'm going to ask our next awardee, Stephen Lisenby, to come on up. So you've had a chance to read Stephen's bio. So in my 2+ decades of working in Southern Utah, I have never had a champion for our center and for rural health like Stephen. Stephen hails from Delta, Utah, and he still lives in rural Utah. He brings to his new role as the Senior Advisor of Rural Affairs for Governor Cox the experience of economic development, a wealth of connections, and a passion to enhance the lives of rural Utahns. He has seen firsthand the impact rural communities can make in a statewide landscape. He's a bridge builder, an innovator, and a champion for rural health. Plus, I think he knows everybody in Utah. We would like to present this award to Stephen Lisenby, a champion for rural health.
So the very first thing to say is that round of applause for Rita. So about 3 years ago, I had an opportunity to join Rita's team, and I remember those first discussions. And the very first discussion started like this: we work with partners, we work with industry, and we try to do what they need to improve the lives of our communities. And everything that they do is focused in those shades of light. And so it became really easy for me to want to work with Rita and why the association and all the work that's being done. Our rural communities only thrive when a few key foundational pieces are available. Healthcare, which is expanding in definition, is one of the most critical aspects. My children have all been born in rural hospitals. My family's all been served in rural hospitals, and we have been greatly appreciated by the services there, right? The expertise that are available, the support, and that takes a lot of partnership, right? Not only finding the educational paths, but inspiring people to come back to our communities, and then bolstering up those clinics and organizations that they have the strength to be able to make things possible. So thank you for all you do. Thanks for being part of it.
I'd like to invite up now one of our board members, Daniel Davis, who is going to introduce our lunchtime speaker for us. And I'm sure you're just going to enjoy this presentation and that content.
Thank you, Rita. I had the honor of serving on the Patient Education Steering Committee at the Huntsman Cancer Institute back in 2008. I was selected to be there as a patient at breast cancer, and I also had a fellow patient named Matt Pond there as well. And so we served as the patient representatives on this committee to see if the literature that was going through the Huntsman, patients could understand it. So it is an honor to introduce Matt. We are good friends and you are in for a treat, but let me tell you a little bit about Matt. Matt often says it's not so much what you go through in life, but how you go through it that matters. He has a story of survival, resilience, and an optimism that is remarkable, and he loves sharing it with others to give them hope in their own journey. Matt and his wife, Chris, have 5 children, 4 sons and a daughter. They live in Yukon, Idaho, and love farm life, playing in nature in all seasons and a good family work project. We hope you'll be inspired and uplifted by his story and have a little fun too. Please help me welcome my good friend, Matt Pond.
Thank you, Cindy. You are amazing. She got me these great things and always had my back. It's an honor to be with you today and my sweet wife here. She's getting things going. First of all, I want to say I've known a little bit about you, but all of you people. And I've learned more today about all that you do for people. And I just want to say thank you for doing the work that you do for people like me. It's truly a blessing in our lives. And so to start off, I just want to sing a little song for you guys. It's thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. It may sound double Dutch, but my delight is such. I feel as if a losing war's been won for me. And if I had a flag, I'd raise a flag and add a sort of final victory touch. But since I've left my flag at home, I'll simply have to say, thank you very, very, very much. Truly, thank you for you guys. Help so many people in life so that they can have a better life. And I know, believe me, I know others that their life is somewhat cut short. I've got a brother that but then there's ones like me that I'm blessed like crazy. So again, thank you. So I grew up in a family of 14 children. I was number 13, lucky 13 of 14 children. And so growing up, we had a farm in Yukon, Idaho, just north of Idaho Falls, and it was an amazing time growing up in the 70s. I was born in 1970, and so life was fun. So my family went 2 boys and then a girl, and then 2 boys, and then 7 girls in a row, and then 2 boys. I was like the last boy. So I gotta tell you, growing up, it's not like you go to a store and everyone gets clothes, right? We would pass them down, right? And so my first brother, Ron, he gave his clothes to Dennis. And my brother, Dana, he gave his clothes to Jeff. All the way. And I got to wear Patty's, Cammy's, and various clothes. That was me. But growing up, it was so fun. We worked very hard. We worked on our farm. We had cows, milking cows, and a great big garden. But at night, we would sing like crazy. My mom used to play the piano amazingly well and but we would sit around and we would just play songs. And so I learned to perform, and I love standing up, and I was able to do it in high school, be able to do it, and then I was able to do it in college as well. And I was able to do a couple of performances or people that we went from in America and in Canada. I was able to do performing, and so it was just a wonderful time there. Is that sorry?
It's okay, I just can't advance it.
Oh. And so life was really, and then right after that, my brothers and I, when we had, we did a little dinner show for about 5 years, in RHAU, Idaho, and where people would come and we would send out, give them food, and we'd do a show and have a blast doing that. It truly was a wonderful time in life. And while I was doing that, I was also doing a lot of construction work and different things like that. And it was great. In fact, I helped build a building here in Washington, just down the road. It's a great big building. It was supposed to be a big dinner show for somebody. I think it turned into a church. But so it was such a wonderful thing. Through that time, I finished up my college degree, and I was going. So I finished up my associate's degree. I got married, and I was able to move, have a job in Massachusetts, Boston. I was able to do, it's called sunburst shutters that I did. And it was old Norm right there. Me and Norm, we he doesn't know who I am, but it was great. I have a little clip. This is my claim to fame, so I got to be on this old house.
Sorry.
I don't know if you can hear it, but I look at it. So I thought, man, now I've been on this old house. What else is there to do in life? It was great. When we were in Massachusetts, we had our first son born, and literally, as soon as he got into our arms, we thought, Massachusetts is really far away from Idaho, and we want grandma and grandpa to have fun with everything. So we moved. After we've done that for about 3.5 years, we moved to Boise, Meridian, Idaho, and there I was still doing wood floors, doing that for a little while, and I had my two other sons. So now I've got 3 beautiful sons and loving life. And I was, again, going to school. I started doing, of course, shutters. And then I thought I need to change. And so I was actually I was anesthesia tech at St. Hospital there in Boston. And I did that for a little less than a year. And then I thought, oh man, it's messing up, because I was going to school as well, trying to get my passion. And it was messing things up. And so I thought, okay, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna start my own woodwork company. And that way I could go to school and I could do homework and I could do these floors like at night. They were, or most of them were houses that how people weren't in. And so I went, so I could do that at night. And about when I was 34 years old or so, that was my life. I would go to school, work, play with our children, and do wood floors at night. And every once in a while, though, in that time, I was able to play a little basketball because I loved basketball growing up and everything. But things started happening when I was playing basketball. Weird things were popping into my head, like words that didn't make any sense, and coming out of my mouth was like Dr. Seuss. Now, again, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to school, I'm working all night, I probably just need to get a little rest, and I don't have time to get rest. And so I thought, I'll finish up school, this will pass. Well, these episodes, so they first started playing basketball and things. Then it started happening when I was doing wood floors. And I'd have these little things that whenever I was really exerting myself, these weird things were popping into my head. And one time it happened when I was just driving. And I hurried and pulled off the road, and I was thinking, okay, probably better get this taken care of, find out what it is. And so Memorial Day weekend, 2006, I went to the emergency room, St. Luke's, same place that I used to work. And I found out, had an exploratory surgery again, and I found out that I had brain cancer. It was an oleoastrocytoma, glandioloma mixed. I don't know what those words mean. You guys probably do. I didn't. In my left temporal lobe, the survival rate is 3% the first year, and then it's less than 1% after the year. I thought I'll be a survivor. The doctor said, go and have a great time. For a month, we're going to take the tumor out in a month. So we did. We had a great month, but I was thinking, you know what? I'll have a little chemo, a little radiation, and I will be back in school in the fall, and life will be great. I got to. So my second surgery came up, and I don't know if you guys know what this is. I've had a lot of these. I'm gonna sing a little song. Have a little Crocker. I once had a gown. It was sterile clean. The tiniest thing, it was hospital green, with little white tie-me-ups placed here and there. When I had it on, I got lots of air. I'd adore it much more, so much more, than only restore the back door. In my neat little hospital gown, when they first got me, I ran around. I was both proud and shy, and I wondered just why would a fellow be laughing at me. He's seen my shine on, harvest moon up in the sky. Well, they come in 3 sizes, my friends. Short, shorter, and don't ever bend, so be sure that it shuts with no ifs, ands, or button up your tiny gown. Don't you dare turn around in your neat little hospital gown, please. Don't bend down. Yeah, I love these hospital cats. So I went to my second surgery. And when I came out of my second surgery, there was a nurse right there. She held up a letter. She said, "Matt, do you know what this letter is?" I said, "No." She said, "This isn't, your name is Matt. It starts with an M." At that time, I was thinking it would be a good idea to learn a different language because I did not know English at all. And I mean, it was a tough thing. So no reading, no writing. I couldn't remember people's names. I couldn't remember songs that I had written or songs that I loved. I mean, my life had totally changed in a couple hours after a surgery. And so I thought, well, I'm not going to be going to school next semester. I started actually chemo and radiation for about 7 months. And I was just trying to remember and to learn as much as I could. But it was tough, especially with chemo and radiation, because you get tired and you're just trying to survive, literally survive. In a little after Christmas of 2006, the doctors told me that there was nothing more they could do. Doctor, you're going to die. But at that time, my wife was also done. She said that this guy, he can't read, he can't write, he's dying anyway. And at that time, for about 8 months, it was probably one of the darkest times in my life, if not the darkest time in my life. I had great family, again, 14 kids, siblings, or 13, that were supporting me and stuff like that. But I was feeling like my body was shutting down. To where in August of 2007, one night I thought, if I go to sleep tonight, I know that I won't wake up. And so I lived in an apartment a couple miles from my sweet boys, trying to get to talk with them as much as I could, which it wasn't very much, or spending time with them. And that night, I went to a high school track that was right next to my apartment, and I just walked the track all night long, praying for a miracle. Then at 5:30 in the morning, I had a sister that was staying with me in my apartment, wanting to make sure that I was okay. But she'd been asleep all night. And I woke her up and I said, "Can you please just take me to the hospital just so that I can get some relief?" And she was like, "What have you been doing all night?" But she took me, and I was able to gets relief and sleep a little bit. But again, I was praying for a miracle. The miracle came 3 days later. I get a call. Again, this was all, I was in Boise. And from Boise to Idaho Falls, we called doctor after doctor after doctor. Is there anything? Is there anything that you can do? Is there? And they said, "We're so sorry." There's nothing we can do. My brother called us that morning, and they said, "Matt, you're going to hop on an airplane today. You're going to go to the Huntsman." They said they have a brand new doctor. They've been there like 3 weeks. Dr. Lance from back east, and he wants to meet. So I was on an airplane. One of my other sisters was there. Took me to the Huntsman, and they had a total. They were looking at the same films that all these other doctors had looked at. They were looking at it and said, "Matt," first of all, they said, "You got cancer." I was trying to get it. They said, "But if you were to die right now, it's because you have 3 cysts in your brain, and there's no place for them to go." They said, "Can we have one more surgery?" If that's okay, can we have one more surgery? And then could you come and see us every once in a while for the next 30 years? Literally, I started to cry. All of my other doctors were, "You got weeks." I was feeling like weeks. And they said, "Come see us for 30 years. And then I said, "Can we make it 50 years?" Well, and so I was so excited. And I thought, coming out of this 3rd surgery now, I thought, boy, everything is going to be perfect. I'll be able to still read. I'm still working on reading. Right? By that time, I was just trying to survive. And so I was feeling like, who knows about the bionic man? You guys, some of them are so young, you're just like, yeah, that's what I thought I was going to be, the bionic man. Bigger, stronger, faster. And I come out of my 3rd surgery. My whole right side was paralyzed. And I had a pity party for myself for about a half hour. I thought, why on earth is this happening? What else can go wrong? And I had this pity party for myself, and then I thought, wait a second, I'm alive. I'm going to be able to raise my voice. And I thought, I can work on all kinds of stuff because there wasn't much that I knew. And so I thought, what can I do first? And the first thing was music. I needed to learn not only now to know songs, learn songs, but to play again on my guitar. Now, I have been playing my guitar for about 20 years. And then coming out of my surgery, my right hand was not working. So I was thinking, how do I do this? first of all, I tried like crazy to just get this hand to just strum or something, just anything. And you can see it's still not after 15 years now. It does its own thing, and that's okay. But I was like, what can I do with what I have? Okay, I just took my right hand out of the equation, and again I learned how to walk again. I was in a wheelchair, and then I had a cane, and I just like, okay, I got to learn how to walk. But playing the guitar, I thought, how am I going to do this? And so I started practicing. I practiced with patients, other patients who were taking chemo. And so I had a captive audience, and I would practice my guitar until I felt like, okay, and then it's getting better. And now my very first song, I didn't even know or even think about using this song before my cancer, but now it's my theme song. I can play all my hours, communing with the flowers, kind of soaking the rain. And my I'm scratching while my thoughts were busy catching, and I only had a brain. I can ride from any trouble or pain. With the thoughts I'm thinking, I need another Lincoln if I don't have a brain. Oh, I could tell you by the oceans near the shore, and I could do the things I have done before, and then I'd say anything some more. But right now, I'm just another. I had all the stuff in my heart, but perhaps I deserve you and be worthy of you if I only had a heart, no, sorry, it's not that. It's a home, no, sorry, it's not that. No, it's not the nerve. Oh, yeah. All right. So, after I learned that, and it took me months, those poor people trying to learn, teaching me as I'm learning how to music. And then I thought, okay, I need to find a song. I found a song that I had known before my cancer. And I thought, if I figured out this song again, I think I can play just about any song. If I can figure the words along with the music, I think, and so this is called the direction song. And again, before phones and things like that, we would have to like ask people, you know where I would go to get to this place. And so this song is called the direction song. Well, I was new in town. I just pulled in. I was looking for the house of a dear old friend who just got to reach the place was still a question. So I stopped an old man on the street. I said, hey, sir, excuse me, please, but I wanted to give me some directions. Well, he told me to address it. He said, yes, I know what you want to do, but I'm a little fuzzy by that part of the time. So let me think this through. Well, he began to mumble and scratch his chin, and he snapped his fingers, gave me a grin, and said, okay, son, I told him about it. You're going north on South Direction, go down Avenue, turn left at the corner of Circle Square, then right on the Spine. Take a left and forward, spin the road, and easier. The hard boulevard, go back to the left, right, it's right down there on your left. Oh, okay. Well, I did everything as best I could, and I thought I was going to turn it on. I made every turn except the final one. But when I made the last turn out of Travis, my eyes, I was right back at the place I started from. And there were curved feet greeting the birds with a smile upon his face was that old man whose directions began by racing wild beasts chasing. So I went up to him and said, "Hey, Frank, give me those directions." And he said, "Sure, you're going to the place. You're going north and left on South Rack Street, go over the hill, down that, turn out of the corner, Circle Square, and then right out the plane. Take a round that fork and spin the road, then easy. The hard boulevard, go back to the left on right one street, it's right on the blue. Well, that's just what I did. I said that I can build that right here instead of getting to the place I want to find. And if I'm right here, all I can say is there must be some other way to get to the place I had in mind. Well, he said, no, the way you go is the way I told you to. And if this ain't where you want to be, well, there's nothing I can do. Because the address you gave me is right over there across the street. I get you here for the rest of the up to you. You're going to go on South Rack Street, go down, turn left, corner, Circle Square, then right off the plane. Take a left on forward, smooth the road, then easier. The hard boulevard, go back to the left on right one street, it's right now you're bound. So when music started coming, I was thinking life is getting better. Another huge help to me was I would go to therapy almost weekly to learn how to read again. And in fact, I remember that people would, a gentleman was my therapist there or whatever, and he would say, you know, look at these animals or these fruits or things, and try to name different things about fruit or the animal or things. And I would try like crazy, and I was like, oh man, it would break, it would hurt my head to think so hard. But one of the huge things is my sister had a friend of hers who was a reading coach. And she said, she has helped our kids tremendously. And so I went in with her, and Jennifer Howard is her name. And she helped me tremendously, not only to read, and again, I was starting with my ABCs, and she would practice. And she said, Matt, first thing that we need to do is we need to take pictures of your you reading again. And so I would take pictures so that I can I can look at those pictures and know that how that I can read. That was a wonderful thing. The greatest thing that happened in my life was in 2011. I went to a Halloween dance, and I've been going to these weird dances for a long time, and I went to this Halloween dance, and I was all dressed up like a scarecrow, of course. And I went and I met my sweet wife at this dance. I had never seen her before. I could remember everything about her. We talked about how we both lived in Boston. How we both. She said, I wanted to have a child in Boston. All of these things. I could remember everything but her because of my brain. And I went to, I knew that she worked at BYU Idaho, and I went to a friend of mine at BYU Idaho and said, in resources, and she said, I said, I need to have all the single girls' names so that I can find my wife, that's what I wanted. And she says, Matt, what is it? FERPA laws? She says, no way, I can't do this. I said, you know that I'm a good guy. And she says, sorry, I can't happen. And I felt very down on myself. And I said, how am I going to find her? And as soon as I came out of her office, Chris was right there talking with some other guy. I didn't know that it was her boss. And I went up there and I said, I tried to nonchalantly say, well, you know, weren't you at the dance? And I said, oh, yeah. I'd love to, tell me your name again. And she said, oh, it's Chris. I said, Chris, it's nice to meet you. Thank you. I hurried and ran to my car. My mom was helping me. She was giving me more support and said, Mom, you need to write this down. Her name is Chris. And I went and I wrote a note to Chris that you know, I'd love to go out with her again, and that I told her that I had brain cancer, and that I used to do music and all of that stuff. And she wrote back a couple days later, and she said, absolutely. And we're now, life is great. It's such a great thing. I've got, it is, I just want, I've got some little cards around the table. If you, if there's a little card that you want to take with you, I would love that. If you know other people who would like to you know, help or need some help with a little hope, I would love to hear from you. Thank you. Can I leave you with one more song, quick song? I don't think we know what we have. And thank you again for this great opportunity. It's truly a pleasure to be here with you. And I hope that not only have you had a great yesterday and today, but that you will have a beautiful rest of the time. Nothing's impossible, I have found. Oh, when my chin is on the ground, I pick myself up, I dust myself off and start all over again. Well, don't lose your confidence if you slip, begin fall that pleasant trip, and pick yourself up, dust yourself off and start over again. Work like a soul inspired till the battle of the day is won. You may be sick and tired, but you'll be a man, my son. Well, do you remember the famous men who had to fall to rise again? Well, they pick themselves up, they dust themselves off and start all over again. Hey, thank you very much.